Did you know that North Carolina has a constitution just like the United States? A constitution is a written plan of government. It is the basic beliefs and laws of a nation, state, or social group. Each state has its own unique constitution based on its history and needs. Before we explore the North Carolina Constitution any further, there are some important words you need to know. Key principle. This is a fundamental truth used in deciding conduct or choice. Revision, a new, corrected, improved, or up-to-date version. Amendment, a change in wording or meaning especially in a law, bill or motion. Citizen, a member of a state or nation. Why do we have constitutions? There are three key principles of a constitution. The first is inherent rights. These are the rights given to the people. The second is separation of powers. This system divides the powers and duties of a government into three branches. And the third is checks and balances. These are limits placed on all branches of government by giving each branch the right to amend acts of the other branches. There are four parts of the North Carolina Constitution. The first is the preamble. This is an introduction. It states the purpose of the Constitution. The second part is the Declaration of Rights. There are 25 inherent rights of the citizens. The third is separation of powers. This separates the government into three branches. There have been three constitutions in the history of North Carolina. The Constitution of 1776 was the very first constitution in North Carolina. It was adopted in Halifax, North Carolina, December 18, 1776. It was not voted on by the citizens, but was adopted by North Carolina's Provincial Congress. This constitution established North Carolina as an independent state and provided a Declaration of Rights for citizens. It established the government of North Carolina to include a governor and a bicameral, or two-house, legislature. In this constitution, governors served for 1 year and legislators were appointed by county no matter the population. Senators had to own at least 300 acres of land in their county and voters had to own at least 150 acres of land to be able to vote for a senator. Most of the power of government was given to the General Assembly. North Carolina had to write a new constitution after the Civil War before they could be readmitted into the Union. This is why they wrote the Constitution of 1868. This revision abolished slavery, gave all men in the state the right to vote, and eliminated the rule that men had to own property to vote. In this revision, governors could have a 4-year term, the court system was established, and more power was given to the executive and judicial branches. This constitution also established county and town governments as well as the school system, and gave the legislature the power to raise money through taxation. The Constitution of 1971 is the one we use today. The preamble in this Constitution states its purpose is to serve the people. The North Carolina State Constitution Study Commission formed November 3, 1970 in order to form a new revision of the Constitution. The commission consisted of the North Carolina State Bar and the North Carolina Bar Association. It had 25 members, 15 of which were attorneys. The Constitution of 1971 clarified the purpose and the operation of the state government. In this revision, the General Assembly went from 200 state administrative departments to 25, all of which are organized by the governor. The 3/5 rule was established for the legislature in this revision and the poll tax was abolished. This revision established the State Board of Education as well as new taxes in the counties for law enforcement, jails, elections and public education funding. It also prohibited the state from spending more money than it collected in taxes. The North Carolina Constitution separates the power of state government into three branches. These branches are the legislative branch, executive branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch makes laws for the state. It is called bicameral. Bi means two and cameral means chamber. The two houses are the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate is led by the Lieutenant Governor and has 50 members. The House of Representatives is led by the Speaker of the House and has 120 members. Representatives for both houses are elected in even-numbered years and serve 2-year terms. The legislative branch does not have the power to change the Constitution. It can vote on an amendment to change the Constitution, but the citizens must vote to approve the amendment. The second branch is the executive branch. It carries out state laws. The governor is the chief executive of the executive branch. The third branch is the judicial branch. This branch interprets state laws and consists of the court system. The North Carolina Constitution lists the rights and responsibilities of its citizens. What is a right? A right is a just claim or title, whether legal, prescriptive, or moral. The Declaration of Rights in the North Carolina Constitution consists of 25 citizen rights. Some examples are rights to religion, to bear arms for the defense of the state, rights concerning government, concerning criminal charges, and rights to own property. A responsibility is a particular burden or obligation for which a person is answerable or accountable. The North Carolina Constitution lists many responsibilities of the government and its citizens. The General Assembly, or legislature, is responsible to local governments. City and county governments are responsible to their citizens and schools. Citizens are responsible for their own property and must adhere to the laws of the local and state governments. Citizens have the right to vote, but in exercising that right, you are saying you are choosing the person you want to be responsible for your city or county. Today we have learned all about the North Carolina State Constitution, its purpose, its history, and how it relates to you and me. I am thankful for the Constitution because it gives me rights as a citizen and organizes the state government so it runs efficiently. Do you think the Constitution is important?